yeah, they can't plug a pachinko machine into the internet.
Get back to this pachinko machine. Spray on water. That's.
So yeah, you're still seeing these
Lever.
buildup of sediments along the walls, any one of which could be a salt monster come to life.
Well, there's an easy way to fix that, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah. Which one's closest?
Spray them.
I mean, they're all over the place.
All right, so Victor will alert everyone that he's about to power wash the cave walls.
This is a terrible idea. I'm all for it. Let's go.
And he's going to open up the flask on the first one.
We've given too much power to Victor. This is what happens.
How often can the decanter be used? It doesn't have charges or anything, does it?
It's just a decanter of endless water.
It's just
I
one
guess
per round, I think.
It wouldn't be endless water if
There was a limit.
There was a limit.
So one by one until the first one is not just a block of salt.
So to be clear, you're going to advance in this dungeon, power washing all the walls as you go.
I don't think power washing's gonna maybe just like a little spritz to see if it comes to life, if not just
Well, there is no little spritz; it's a geyser.
Yeah, no, that's
Water laser. It's a water
We don't
laser.
have to wipe the cave clean of all salt. We just need to make sure that if we see something that looks like it could be a salt monster, that we.
Well, that's what
a
I'm
very
saying
good
is you
way-
can't tell what looks like a salt monster and what doesn't. The
Yeah,
deposits.
so anything that might potentially be a salt water is going to get sprayed in the face.
Okay, so just to be clear, we're going to advance in the dungeon, power washing all of the walls as we go, just in case. That's what I'm hearing.
To start with, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Let's start with this room.
It's incredibly noisy for one thing, and unpleasant as the sprayback is hitting the walls. But you hit the far walls here, and nothing comes to light. After a minute or so of blasting the walls and trying to spray all the salt, you have a sodden floor of soil, of just standing mud and sediment to move through.
that's the problem. We don't want to make the whole cave like this. This is
Okay,
miserable.
I mean, you might. It depends on what you find preferable.
Okay,
This
so
or
we'll-
running into salt monsters.
We'll be a little judicious with the use of the.
Or will we? Will we?
Okay, I guess it's up to Victor, which is. Not
And as
good.
you guys are moving into the room, you are having some difficulty because the floor is so muddy. You're pulling your boots, sucking out of the muds, and having flashbacks to fighting frog monsters in the swamp. So effectively,
Vic-
Victor has made the room into difficult terrain.
Okay, so Victor, you were at about 11. We need you at like a 6 or 7.
Well, there is no 6 or 7. It has you can pour it, or it could be a geyser. Like that's the description in the book. It has
Okay,
a
well,
couple of states.
there's a difference between spraying the room down and just flooding the room.
I mean, it's like 30 gallons of water in like 6 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way to use this item judiciously. This is
Like I said, if we run into something, then Victor can turn it on. But
Yeah, let's let that be the rule. If you see a salt monster, then you can use it.
Evie, you go first.
Fine.
If you see something, spray something.
So what do I see when I go here?
Destil, you should be ashamed of yourself.
so to be clear, you have a stream which produces 1 gallon of water. We kind of pour it out as a regular decanter.
Yes.
Fountain which produces 5 gallons, and then the geyser which produces 30 at great pressure.
So how quick did these things seem to move? Like if I were to walk up to one and just pour some on the head, would I have time to jump back before it grabs me?
Probably not. Moving around the corner up there, you can see where this very cramped and narrow passage joins back up with the stream.
Probably
This
safe
is
in this
just-
section.
This is a stream over here.
Yep, this is you found the other side of the stream. And it continues flowing off to the south. And at its narrowest point here, it's only about 4 feet across. Relatively easy just to hop over or wade through.
So, question about the stream.
Hmm?
How tall is this? Can we go off the map here?
So looking at that direction, the stream is flowing to the south from that direction. And as far as your light source reaches, you can see. From this position, though, you can hear moving raw water off to your north quite a bit louder than you could when you were south over by the bridge, which you surmise means that the stream is trickling down rocks at some point.
Okay.
So what does Orson see going forward?
You can continue to move forward. Another small adjoining room. Are you wading through the stream or hopping across?
Yeah,
I hopped across.
hop across.
Is the water magical at all?
As far as you can tell.
Yeah, okay.
It's noticeably less saline in this area because this is the point where the stream enters into the mine.
Are there still a bunch of salt pillars everywhere?
Yeah, you're going to power wash the room again?
How muddy are my boots?
Fairly muddy because, I mean, you had to stomp through that previous room.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the decanter of water and I'm going to stream it very lightly to wash off my boots, as well as Orson and Evie since they're right here.
So you're going to take some time and wash your boots?
Well, is it hard to walk in the mud?
It is difficult terrain.
Well, no, I mean, like the boots are all muddy. It's like,
Oh, no, they're not hampering your movement now, no.
okay.
This room is soil, not mud.
I'm actually going to leave the mud on there, given what the salt's been doing.
Okay.
All right, everyone, get ready for the surprise.
I'm going to. I actually think we should look up and downstream.
Really? You think you should? Yeah. I mean, that would be a cool place to hide something, but
Not necessarily right now, but like.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it as we clear the rest of these areas.
like if I was in charge of this dungeon and I wanted to hide something really important, that's where I'd hide it.
Well, it's a mine, not a dungeon.
They're shallow enough, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, let's just advance.
As Orson advances, he sees another narrow tunnel that snakes and then forks about 15, maybe 20 feet in. Okay, roll initiative.
Sure.
Oh, I have one on initiative tracker already. Cool.
You do that on purpose.
The good news is that you guys will kill them all before I get the chance.
So yeah, Orson is shouldering past the jut in the wall here and coming around. There is some elevation to this tunnel to the south. Like you'd have to climb up this steep, like 5-foot ramp to get up onto this higher rock shelf. And one of the creatures is shambling towards the shelf. And a second one is coming around the corner at the end of the tunnel. And who's up first?
Got Genie with Evie on deck.
Okay. So there's two of the creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not. They're too far apart for that. Okay. I'm just going to shoot a ray of frost at that guy.
Okay.
That is not going to do it. It's like a 14.
14 is not going to do it.
Yep. And that's it. That's my turn.
All right, who's next?
Got Evie with Ekon on deck.
Wow, this situation is I'm just completely useless.
You can get in front and shield me.
Yeah, you could do that.
Let me check something real quick. Five, 10, 15. Here's what I'm going to try to do. This isn't going to work, but I'm going to try it. Fairy Fire.
Okay.
They have to make a DC 10. I believe it's Dexterity.
DC
Yes,
10.
DC 10 Dexterity.
One of them fails. I'll let you pick which one.
I guess the closer one.
Okay.
So this one is Fairy Fired. So he's glowing, and everyone has advantage to hit him. And as a bonus action, I will give Victor advantage to hit the other one if he wants.
Okay. Who's next?
Ekon. So Ekon will move to here, will clutch his holy symbol, and cast Bless, targeting Victor, Evie, and Edmont. That is a plus 1d4 to attack rolls and saving throws for 1 minute. And I don't have any useful bonus actions right now.
So staying put.
So, yeah, that's it. And then red token.
Okay.
Oh nope, he's gonna get speared. Orson uses reaction to hit an armor class of 22.
That'll hit.
Okay.
He rolls an advantage on that roll.
Okay.
Because the thing was fairy fired.
That's less. Oh no, it's a D6. That is 7 spear damage.
Okay. And that uses reaction, so he's not able to do that against the second one that enters his threat range.
Correct.
Okay. I have a 14 to hit Orson.
No.
And a 13.
Nope.
And a 7. And another 7.
That's all against Orson.
All against Orson.
That all misses.
Okay, who's next?
Next up is Edmont with Orson on deck.
Okay. That neighborhood's pretty crowded. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I can drop a. Yeah, I'm gonna drop a. See if I can hit him with an arrow.
Okay.
That guy's fairy fired.
So you do
I
have
know.
advantage.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's see. 21, I'm pretty sure hits, but
21 does hit.
a 20, a 24 hits better. Looking at 8 points piercing damage. I
Okay.
need more arrows eventually.
Moving or staying put?
I'm good here.
Okay, who's next?
Next up is Orson with Victor on deck.
Orson is going to
Bottom one is the one that's Fairy Fired.
Orson is going to he's going to attack the one that's fairy fired, right? And so my understanding of the geyser is that Victor can only target like one square, like one he can't just like do this and then sweep it across.
It's 30 feet in a 1 foot line.
Right. So what I'm going to do is spear hits an armor class of 12. The butt hits an armor class of...
He has advantage. It's Fairy Fired.
Oh, okay. So spear was not going to do it. This is the butt. That is a 20, and then for the second one is so 20.
20 will hit.
All right. then he takes 5 butt damage.
The best kind of damage.
And then Orson's going to go prone.
That's gonna make it a lot easier for them to hit him. You remember?
Yeah, I don't think he has to go prone. Rick said I could shoot around him, I think.
Can you shoot around him? It's a line. My understanding is that's
5 foot space, so it only takes a 1 foot. So
Yeah, you wouldn't have to go prone.
okay. If he doesn't have to go prone, he's not going to.
Okay.
I thought he would have to go prone to give Victor room to.
No, you can. It's only a 1 foot line. You can aim around him.
Okay.
What he can't do is like hit him and then say it also hits him because he's spraying it like a hose. And if they were standing like this, I would only apply the damage to the first one because he's the one actually getting hit with it.
Fair enough.
So yeah, 1 target in a direct line from you. Okay, who's next?
Next up is Victor with Genie on deck.
Here comes the water boy.
Gross.
Alright, so Victor is going to take a step back so that when these things explode. And
You are
so
leaving
everyone's been
something
attacking
threat
on the bottom.
range doing that.
Oh yeah, he is leaving this thing threat range. You have to use disengage.
And that would use up your bonus action.
Yeah, so.
So you'll have to either stay where you are or let it take a swing at you.
Oh, god damn you. Alright, we're just gonna spray the catty corner one. Actually, we're gonna spray the catty corner one.
So this one here.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of save
Well,
is that?
how much damage does that one have? Does that one? We have no way to tell if it's bloodied yet. I'm guessing.
It's a pile of salt.
Okay.
Salt in its veins. It doesn't have veins.
We're gonna spray that one.
Okay.
Does it look peppered?
And it fails its save. Go ahead and roll the appropriate damage. Actually, it might not matter.
1d4 bludgeoning.
Maybe 2.
And bear with me 1 second as I do some bookkeeping.
One day I'd like to meet this bear that's with you. Seems like a nice fellow.
Yeah, as you blast the thing with water and it sprays against the back wall, the thing comes apart. The bones fall to the floor. And as the water is draining out away from you down across that shelf, just leaves the tendrils behind, writhing in its space.
We can only see one.
There's 4.
I wonder why tabletop does that.
It's so that you can spawn stuff in that.
Do these component pieces of it still have fairy fire, or has that been resolved?
They are no longer fairy fired. They are functionally different creatures.
Okay. But Victor, I did give you advantage to hit the other one with an attack if you want.
The other one? Yeah. So we will whip a dagger at it.
Psychic? Or regular?
We're gonna try a psychic dagger. Does a 20 hit?
20 does hit.
Bless is not damage, right?
No, it's to hit.
So whatever 14 points of psionic damage is worth.
Well, it's worth 14 points of psychic damage. You slash the thing with your psychic knives. Moving or staying put? You're not in the threat range anymore. These things have to be on your square to attack you.
Okay, in that case we're gonna back up.
Okay. Jump into Genie's arms, and who's next?
Yes, save me.
The Genie drops you because she's only got like 8 strength.
After Victor, we've got Genie followed by Evie.
All right. Genie will step here.
Okay.
and she is going to. Can I angle a thunder wave to not hit anybody else?
I don't
If
see
I-
how you could hit either of those creatures without hitting at least one party member with, because it's a cone, right?
It's a square.
It's a square.
Like
Where
it's like a 15-foot cube originating from me.
Yeah, there's no way to hit. I mean, you could definitely hit all the creatures, but you'd hit Orson as well.
Orson, I'm sorry. And I pat him on the back and I cast a thunder wave. I
Okay.
need a DC. It's a Constitution saving throw, but it's DC 15.
I'll roll for Orson.
The big guy fails. Then 6 little guys.
Yeah, it's probably best for me not to roll. It's a conflict of interest.
Orson rolled a 19.
Is it half damage on a pass?
It is half damage on pass. I'm trying to look up I think it's 3d8, but let me verify.
4 of my tendrils passed, but I think they still die.
Yeah, it is.
Almost certainly.
It is 2d8.
Evie looks at Genie like, what the hell?
4 points of damage.
4 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Orson takes 2.
I mean, he's got 10 hit points. Has 11. That's 4 points, and anybody that failed is pushed back 10 feet.
So Orson falls into your arms?
No, anybody that failed, he passed. So back 10 feet.
Well, these guys don't have anywhere to be pushed away from you, so these kind of
Right.
splatter against the wall. You didn't kill any of them with that low damage roll.
Yeah. Don't worry. Next level, I get to add an extra D8 to any spell I cast.
All I can say is this session is teaching us what it feels like to be brick on a normal basis.
Got Evie with Ekon on deck.
Evie, fix it.
Okay, I guess I'm just going to swing at one of these tendrils.
Okay.
And my bless gives me an extra D4 on attack rolls.
Yep.
All right, so that is a 9.
9 does not hit.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't hit anything this whole dungeon.
Hashtag blessed.
Okay, I'm just gonna bonus action give Victor advantage to hit the big guy again. And these guys don't threaten me, so I'm just gonna bye. I'm not staying here for that.
Okay. Who's next?
Ekon. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Can I get a DC 15 strength saving throw from this one?
I have a 20.
Okay. And then all of these need to make a DC 15 con saving throw against Word of Radiance.
Is that half damage on a save?
No, it's a cantrip.
No damage on save.
I have 1 pass.
The rest of them will take 10 radiant damage.
So that's 5 of them. And 1 of them passed.
And that's the end of my turn.
Alright, who's next?
Next up is Red Token, followed by Edmont.
Okay. Let's see what we can do about Ekon's boots here.
It's very nice boots. I think Ekon probably is dressed the nicest out of all of us.
Ekon,
Yeah,
I've got a
definitely.
17 to hit.
Yeah, that's my AC.
It's going to be 6 points of necrotic damage. And your boots are adhered to the ground as this salt monster is leaving residue and moving its way up into your shoes.
Okay.
Then this guy... I have a 17 to hit.
Well, let's find out if it can be blinded.
Okay.
Does Warding Flare do anything?
Does it have to make a save or something, or...
If it can be blinded, it makes another attack. The attack rolls at disadvantage. If it can't be blinded, it doesn't do anything.
To be honest, this thing doesn't even have a face. It doesn't have any eyes.
Okay.
So you're warding
Yeah,
flare.
that hits.
And then I've got an 18 to hit.
Also hits.
Okay. No critical hits on my monsters this dungeon.
Oh, I gotta make a concentration for Blessed.
You're going to make 2 because I hit you twice.
3.
So it's going to be 7 points of bludgeoning damage from the first hit. And 6 points of bludgeoning damage from the second hit. And please make me 2 Constitution saving throws. DC is 15.
So that's 6 Constitution saving throws. First con save is a failure for the first damage. Second damage con save is, you said it was 16?
15.
15, that passes.
Okay. So take an additional 5 points of necrotic damage. As when the thing brings its giant salty arm down on you, it saps the moisture from your body.
Okay, first concentration, half the damage, right?
I think
Is
it's
there- is
full
there-
damage. I think it's
It's half damage
10.
or 10,
Or
whichever
10,
is higher.
whichever's lower, yeah. That's right. First Constitution failed, so there's no more bless.
Bless is gone.
No longer hashtag blessed.
Okay, who's next?
Edmont.
There's still okay. There's a small boy on Ekon. Yeah, that's right. I can get to here, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And I can go ahead and try to smash the thing that's off of Ekon,
Sure.
the tendril. Not with that roll. That's a 12.
12 does not hit.
Bonus action martial arts for an 11. So no
11
thank you.
does not
Nothing
hit.
doing.
So you throw some punches aimed down at Ekon's ankles. But I guess you're worried about hurting him?
A little bit, yeah.
he's wearing full plate.
Not around his
Bring
ankles.
half plate.
Okay.
Bring half plate.
It's like Steiner.
Like,
He has the full plate Reeboks, but nothing on his ankles. Doesn't have shocks.
Yeah, Ekon's got the Edmont's experienced this firsthand, and so he knows what his brother's going through, and he ain't trucking with that.
Who's next?
I've got Orson and then Victor, I think.
Orson.
With that description, I'm now picturing Edmont wearing the fighter onesie.
So, what do we think Torson's going to do? Attack the big guy or the small guy?
I mean, he can't really reach the big guy, so he's just going to.
Well, he can go. He can go around Ekon, can he?
He can.
How? Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, that's technically a square you can stand in.
Okay. I thought that was wall.
Well, it is, but I mean, it kind of bisects the square. But there is a section of square open, so it is a valid place to stand.
All right. First thing is, I guess, just both on the big guy.
Okay.
That is a 20. It's higher than the AC you've been letting us hit on. 23
That'll hit.
and a crit.
Ooh, boy.
All right.
Orson's
so
the most effective member of this party by far.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ekon burns a lot of batches of monsters alive.
Let's see. That is. Hold on. What is the plus on his attack? It's +5, I think. Because he's got a +1 spear. I'm just double checking. Yeah, +5. So that is 6 piercing damage and 8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. And just like the previous ones, the thing falls apart, dropping its human bones that slide down the crumbling shelf below. And the tendrils are snapping around right in front of Ekon. Who's next?
Next up is Victor with Genie on deck.
Going to move up a little bit.
Okay.
Now, how many of these little ones can I hit with the water? Just one of them or all of them?
I'll let you blast that whole square. Because you can figure if you aim it down at the ground,
Yep.
blast it in the whole square.
Ekon, duck.
He's rooted to the ground.
You hunker down and blast it between his legs.
Yeah, we go with that.
Yeah.
So, yep, water on the little guys.
That's a strength saving throw, yes?
Yes, DC 13.
I have 3 passes and 3 failures. So I guess for what it's worth, you can go ahead and roll the bludgeoning damage against the 3 failures.
1.
So 3 of them are now dead. And what else?
So we're going to go and attack the thing that's on Ekon and try and free him.
Okay.
Well, it was a 20 till it rolled to an 8. Does that count?
It counts as an 8.
It's a 14 hit.
14 does not hit. Moving or staying put?
I'm going to get out of the way so Eugenia can go.
All right, who's next?
Got Genie with Evie on deck.
Jeannie steps forward and she tries to shocking grasp the one on Edmont. Not Edmont, Ekon.
Okay.
That is a 2 on dice. That is not going to do it.
Okay.
Bonus action. If you have less than 5 temp hit points, you have 5 temp hit points. And I'm just going to... How you doing, Evie?
Oh, I'm doing great. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Cool. Be right back. 5, 10, 15. I guess I'm gonna take a swing at this one.
Evie's like, hold my beer.
One of us will be able to hit Ekon on the legs.
So I do not have bless anymore.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, but that's a natural 20.
That's good.
Hey.
And he does have stuff adjacent to him, so I get to roll a whole bunch of dice. This thing probably can't survive.
You got to do more than 4 hit points.
Okay, so 26 enough?
Yeah, that'll do it. So Ekon is still fused to the floor, but the tendrils of salt snaking up his boots are no longer moving.
I gave advantage to Edmont. I say, Edmont, you got this. 5, 10, 15. Hi, Genie. End turn.
Who's next?
All right. I'm going to need Constitution saving throws from each of those.
Okay.
15.
I have 1 pass.
The other 2 take 5 radiant damage.
And that's enough for the 2 of them.
And that one that did not pass, I need a DC 15 strength saving throw.
That's a pass.
Okay, that's the end of my turn. Next up is Red Thing.
Red Thing. We're going to continue picking up where we left off. I have a 16 to hit.
Nope.
So you're in the same situation as you were before, as this thing is maneuvering its way up your legs. So far, none of them made it up past the tops of your boots. Let's see if we can keep it that way. Who's next?
Edmont with Orson on deck.
I gave you advantage. Use it well.
I will do my best. Then try and rescue my dear brother.
Sure.
Ooh, that's a 2 on die. But with the advantage, thank you, Evie. That's a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Looking at 7 points bludgeoning damage.
And that's
Done.
enough. So Ekon is no longer in danger of being tendrilled, but for the time being, his boots are still fused to the soil.
I have my crusty Crowbar, trusty crowbar.
It's probably
a little crusty.
probably this one.
Crusty
Yeah.
Crowbar. Crusty Crowbar.
Anyway, I'm gonna pop his legs out of the ground.
Okay.
How much damage did you take, Ekon?
13.
Do we want to all just dump our words of resolve to give him? I guess it would give him 2, 4, 6, 8. Orson chips in. We can give him 10 hit points back if we all use our words of resolve to heal him.
Temp HP is not additive.
But we can split it in half and give him real hit points.
That you could do, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm down to 12 natural hit points.
Okay, so here's a question. If I have 5 and Genie has 5, but we both split that in half, does that give him 4 or does it give him 5?
You always round down in D&D.
All right.
So you first round the
It's 2 hit
5
points.
down to 2. And then you'd add the 2 2s together.
Okay, well the 4 of us plus Orson can give him 10 hit points back if we want to, and it doesn't use any spell slots or anything.
Correct.
Victor would like to give himself hit points back.
You can't do that. How much damage did you take?
I'm down to 12 out of 31 without temp HP.
Oh, you're worse off than Ekon. I thought Ekon took more damage than you.
Well, Victor took the brunt of that first one that found you guys.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we had some resource. We can burn some to give some people some hit points back.
Yeah, go ahead and take 2 back from me, Victor.
I'll give 2 to Victor.
After
My 2 decks.
after a minute of continuously pulsing, everybody gets 12 temper hit points. It's just building up layers.
2 to Victor.
So the
And,
passage in front of you continues on at your level. The passage off to your left ducks down into another tunnel.
And
I'll go ahead and cast Mending on my boots.
Yep.
is it just we're just splitting the healing up evenly? Since there's 6 of us?
However you want it. You guys can decide how Orson spends his.
So 6 for each, both Victor and Ekon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Plus 12 temp hit points. That's basically 18 points of healing. That's a lot of healing.
For free, yeah. It takes the whole party to do that, but yeah, it's a nice heal.
All right, so sticking with the right hand rule, we're gonna start going south.
Looks like this
That would
goes
be
to
left
the
hand.
exit.
It's the power of friendship. That is literally our ability at this point.
So if you're going down into the tunnel,
Yeah.
keeping on this tunnel, it does get a little narrow, but you can see very narrow streams of daylight at the far end, as this seems to connect back up with what would have been the northern edge, or the northern entrance, back out into the quarry. And you can just see a couple of beams of daylight peeking through between the wooden slats that make up the entryway.
Question, where does the salt stop?
It's piled up all the way to the entryway tunnel.
Does it spill out at all?
Does it spill out into the quarry, you mean?
Sunlight? Yeah, well, you just outside of the cave entrance. Like, where is it stopped?
It doesn't. There's no... I mean, if you got down on a geological level, I'm sure you could find trace amounts of salt in the soil and sediment of the quarry. But the built-up piles of it that you've noticed in the cave that you think might come to life at any moment, nothing like that outside.
I mean, what I'm trying to figure out is, like, I'm trying to find the commonality. Like, why hasn't this stuff spread outside is what I'm thinking of.
We could try and see if it reacts to sunlight.
It might just be the fact that it rains outside.
Maybe. That's a good reason.
Could be as simple as that, yeah.
I mean, water is definitely these things' kryptonite. That decanter has done more damage than I think all the rest of us put together at this point.
I'll be honest, I forgot you guys had a decanter when I built these monsters.
I'm glad you did.
Well, it's fine because everything else we have against these creatures kind of sucks. So it's kind of, I think it's okay to have like one good option against them.
I'm gonna shine my light down this passageway.
And it dips down relatively steeply, and you see the tunnel wind away off to the south.
We'll come back that way, Ekon. Let's keep going this way.
And that thought you said that one way went to the exit.
Well, Orson says it looks like it may curve off to the side, so
It does.
let's keep
There's
going.
another entryway down here. Are you guys leaving the entry intact? The boards and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, it goes off into a slightly wider tunnel here and starts sloping gently upwards.
Sure, you guys don't want me to wash the walls while we're going?
I don't think it's necessary.
I know on the map this looks like a bridge over this little valley, but it's actually not. It's actually 2 tunnels that one ducks down under the other one, but you can't actually travel to one from the other. Like, you can't hop down from here. You've got walls on the side. And then on the other side, it looks like it opens, once again, into a slightly wider room.
Interesting. Looks like we're gonna meet back up over here.
Is that the idea? Heading south down through here?
Yep.
Yeah, sure enough, after a few moments, you find yourself back in the large central gallery where you found the bridge, and the dead body is still laying face down on the bank.
All right, well, nothing's jumping out at us. We're gonna.
I'm a little worried. Like that dead body strikes me as a little odd.
That it hasn't been. Well, it was in the water. Is probably why I wasn't taking over by the salt.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what? That and it probably washed from upstream. It could have washed from upstream.
Could have.
Also a good
Because
point.
It got stuck here.
Because I was wondering how the heck did it get in here? Because those boards were undisturbed, right?
Correct.
Yeah, no, the corpse was waterlogged, so it didn't. So the salt beasties didn't want to partake.
It's also he hasn't
Take this.
been decomposed enough that we couldn't recognize his features, so he couldn't been dead for that long.
Yeah, and going up these narrow tunnels here, you probably do have to squeeze to get up there. But on the other side is another gallery, and then it meets back up with the tunnel from earlier. So you can
Okay, so
come
we've-
full circle.
Right. I think what we should do is come back over here
Oh.
to the water,
All of the
And-
stream.
follow the stream upstream, and I start sloshing through the water.
I mean, does the water seem like if we stand in it, is it going to dissolve us? Is it like that's
Well, there was a
Just-
dead body in it.
okay? I mean, the salt in this mine is clearly not natural, so
It's not even particularly deep, the water. And the channel that it's flowing through has a rocky bottom to it. Like the stream has bored through the rock over the centuries.
could we actually walk through this passage?
Yeah, you absolutely can. And-
Jeannie is going to pull the dead body back into the water to keep the salt from claiming it.
And as
making
you
it
go to turn the dead body, you do see that the salt has started to form up around its legs and its belly.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you might cause damage to the body. The adherence was that quick.
I mean, it's already dead. It's not like
Okay.
we already have like a description of his features. And
I mean, do we have
So
some kind
actually, wait. So when Genie goes to pull it back, when we see salt on there, Victor's going to pause for a second, and then he's going to pour the water over the salted areas.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, pouring 5 gallons of water over the body dissolves the salt away, and then you can freely drag it back and put it back where it belongs, lodged under a bridge.
Yes,
Right.
contaminating the water supply for everyone to drink. Yes.
I think the answer is we drag the body out and ask if anyone in town recognizes it.
we're gonna do that, but
We got
Also, do any of us have speak with dead?
I'm not a cleric.
No.
Oh, okay.
Heading up into this chamber, there is a delightful scene.
A delightful scene.
I don't like the way you said that.
Along this wall over here, you see 3 bodies, a man, a woman, and a child, in a state of decomposition far worse than the bloated man who was waterlogged. Also, the salt has almost completely crept up and around them. They look like they're stuck to the wall, almost. It's like here and there you can see like an arm is hanging out with its fingers splayed, half of the woman's face, but they're not near to the water.
Victor says a little prayer to air, and then
Don't.
The second thing you see is a pinpoint of sunlight hitting the cave right next to where they're sitting. The third thing that you see, and I'm going to try to draw a vaguely like human shape here. Also, very much crusted over with salt that has climbed up and over it. It looks like empty clothes.
What?
I think we should try the fountain setting before you try power washing the dead bodies. Maybe we can. I'd hate for you to destroy any information we can get.
Okay.
So this is a man, woman, and child. I only see 2. So it's
Well-
3 over here.
We have clothes, and then downstream we found a naked man. How did he get out of the clothes?
Are they fat man clothes?
Well, are we like pouring water over them, or are we just gonna... Okay. Pouring water over the clothes, dissolving the acid around. You realize that it's essentially a suit, like one-piece pajama. With like the little buttons on the back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Victor, pouring the water over it, the runoff is reddish and brown. And you realize why once the salt is dissolved away. The front half of the clothes of this like one-piece pajama suit is covered in dried blood. And it's cut in many, many places, all up and down what would be the torso and the chest.
Well, somebody didn't like whoever was wearing this.
There's a pocket sewn into one side of the clothes, and you can see it's bulging out, especially now that you've doused it in water.
Being an idiot, Victor will reach inside and see if he can pull the pocket back. Actually, he's going to take his dagger and cut the pocket.
Okay,
And
yeah,
kind
you
of lift it away.
cut the seam of the pocket and pull it away, and inside is a quantity of paper that's in really bad shape. First of all, because half of it is completely blood-soaked, and you just poured 5 gallons of water all over it. But they're like the size of maybe playing cards. And there's maybe a half dozen or so. They all look identical. Or at one point they would have been identical. You peel like the first 2 or 3 away, the ones that are covered in dried blood, and you can see where each one is beautifully painted with a rocking horse, and then something next to it written in Darkanese. So all of the cards that are legible, they're very wet now, but they're still, the ones that are legible are all identical. You have this wonderfully painted rocking horse, and then some measure of text in Darkanese.
Genie, here, read these.
That ritual lasts an hour, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you speak Darkanese too, don't you?
You can
I
speak
speak
it,
it, I
you can't
can't
read
Oh, yeah, I can't read it, yeah.
Can't read it.
it. So you do have comprehend languages back up still?
Let me see if it let me see if it takes concentration.
I don't
It
think
does not.
does, but yeah.
And it
Yeah,
lasts
I
an
know
hour.
I've used it for a while.
Now, you've probably been exploring for more than an hour since last time you used it, though, because you're way down in this room. And you've been through the entire place since then.
Okay.
Like,
Well, in that case, I
visual
don't have my
cast.
turret. My turrets only last an hour.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oops.
Well, you
Well,
can
I mean-
recast it as a ritual, right? We seem
Yeah,
to
I
have
can
swept the place
recast.
clean, and there aren't any more salt monsters unless these things
So-
on the wall start moving.
Yeah, so the bodies on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
do they look like they're turning into salt monsters based on what we've seen?
Probably a good guess. Yes, it looks like the salt is in the process of reducing them to bones. But there is still quite a lot of rotten muscle and flesh and
hey,
hair and even some clothing left amongst them.
Ekon.
Do you want to preemptively blast that?
before
Yeah.
wait, Victor, back up.
Before we blast it, we're going to try and pour water and hope I don't die.
Well, we could do that from a distance if Ekon has any more spell slots for that.
Anybody have a
Yeah.
bucket? Oh, you're great. Well, great water would flood it.
So, one thing, anyone can just cast comprehend languages in 6 seconds if we want to take a quick look at these cards.
I
Yeah,
used up my house plot.
I have my house slot. I can do it.
I got mine.
Okay.
So
Here you go, Edmont.
Edmont, cast comprehend languages.
Yep.
And it's a business card. It has a man's name.
Figured as much.
Andrei Blinsky. Then under it, it says, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky."
Man's got a twisted idea of fun.
I'm getting very,
No,
very
No,
strong,
see-
very, very strong, like, wingman from the last campaign vibes.
No, this is an NPC from Curse of Strahd. I'm sorry.
I'll go ahead and
But
cast.
I'll say that and be like, never heard of him, have you?
What is it you want to cast, Ekon?
I'm going to cast Create Water and, create a
Okay.
30-foot cube of rain over these bodies and the clothes.
And as you dissolve, the bodies are slumped against the wall, and the woman has an arm draped over the child, but the bodies are incredibly far gone. You see where regular decomposition has set in, but the salt has also done considerable damage. So pretty much the whole lower half of their bodies are just skeletonized at this point, and what remains is barely worth talking about. Whatever process this salt uses, it looks like it was almost through with them.
I have an idea that this might be useful because we don't know who these people are.
I have a similar idea.
I was think Edmont, can you
Draw a picture.
draw their faces so we have that as a reference later.
So, Edmund, you could, but there's no way to tell what they might have looked like in life. They're too badly decomposed
Yeah,
for that.
there's no way I could do
Okay.
that.
So once we have the salt off them, is there any sort of identifiable things like clothing that looks like it might be special, or trinkets or rings or necklaces or anything?
No jewelry, nothing like that. You don't find so much as a coin purse.
I look up the hole where the sunlight's coming.
Yeah, there's just a tiny stream of sunlight.
Is there any salt at the bottom of the hole where the sunlight's hitting?
There is sediment and salt built up along the wall, just like all the walls of this place. But it's not like trickling down from where the sunlight is coming through, as far as you can tell.
Well, is the sun, does it look like if the sunlight touches the salt, does it get destroyed?
You'd have to sit and watch and see if that happens. That's something that would take the course of hours.
Why don't we grab some salt and take it out? Can we just push some of the? Well, you said there's salt already in the sunlight on the ground, so.
Oh yeah. In fact, the salt when you came in was crusted over the pajamas. They wouldn't have been able to remove it until you had doused them.
I have one more question about the bodies, and then that's basically all I can think of.
Okay.
You said that just basically their lower halves were skeletonized, right?
Right, because the salt had crusted up and over the lower half.
What is the quality of their clothes? Are we talking commoner or noble clothes?
Really difficult to tell, but the material is wool, simple wool and leather.
Okay.
So they're not wearing silks. More than that, you really would have a difficulty telling even what color the clothes were originally.
There's not always no emblems or markings that might identify who made them or anything.
They don't look fancy, if that's your question. They look functional.
So what I'm going for is if we were to take the clothing back to town, is there any chance that somebody might look at the clothes and say, "Hey, I wonder what happened to Bob"?
It's possible. You'd have to do that to find out.
So Victor will start taking the clothes.
Okay.
I guess
This hole is not big enough for someone to have fallen through. Did these 4 people fall through this hole, and that's how they got here?
seems to be the hole's too small for the fat man.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Could they have been some of the original miners that were in here doing salt and they got trapped?
But they said that, but the last time, well, we don't know how long. Oh, the people of the town said that this mine has been boarded up for years and years.
What
The decomposition of the bodies shouldn't account for that.
especially in the
It's-
salt.
It's hard to say because that salt might turn bodies to that in hours.
Are they?
Let's,
well, salt
let's-
turns bodies into jerky.
Let's see what the source of this stream is. Maybe that's how they got in here.
Yeah. Let's go upriver.
You're going to follow the stream north?
I guess so.
It turns sharply to the right at some point after 60 or 70 feet or so. And it starts going up an incline, and you can reach the point where you've heard the water trickling down rocks. So at one point, it's less of a stream, so to speak, and more of just a collection of wet rocks that you're having to climb up. The distance that you've traveled, I mean, you have to go you climb up this one wall, You can continue on and on and on. So I guess the question is, how far do you want to go in terms of time?
Based on our last experience with tight corridors, I think we should turn back and ask the townspeople where it goes.
Is there anything further to look at down here?
Yeah,
Us-
it looks. Wonder if there's something downstream to look at.
Somebody give me an intelligence check.
I'll do this because I have a +4. 21.
So, I don't think any of you have gone with the fishermen of the village, but you know that they always left out of the village and went off to the northeast, where there's a supposedly a small river that they fish, close enough that they can go out in the morning and be back by evening. This stream looks like it's flowing from the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be fishermen that got knocked off the boat and trapped in here.
Well, they're not.
No, they're humans.
No, fishermen. Oh, humans could be fishing. Like, we don't know if the little people are the only ones in the area.
But they're not little people. That's the thing.
The
Well,
body
we
was
could
Right.
ask.
They
We could
said,
ask the halflings if they know anything about these people.
remember, we already asked them about the last visitor they got was a toy maker, and that was years ago.
Yeah, but there could be humans on the river as well as the halflings.
Edmont holds up one of the waterlogged business cards. Is no fun. Is no Blinsky.
Let's go find Blinsky.
I think this is Blinsky.
Yeah, that sounds like a toy maker's motto to me.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Let's go ask the townspeople. then.
Sorry, you're going to fish this body and start dragging it?
I think we should take all 4 bodies out. If nothing else, we shouldn't leave them in here because that's just going to make a danger for later, and also probably should bury them.
Well, what's downstream this way?
Heading downstream this way. The stream flows, again, some distance off the map, and it gets narrower and narrower as the water starts kind of pooling up and trickling down into the water table until you reach a point where it's not really much of a stream anymore, and then the tunnel becomes too narrow to continue.
Okay. Just being thorough.
I think we should just carry the bodies out.
Yeah, we can bury them, and then we can take the card to the village and see if that's the toy maker.
Does anybody have any cartography tools or any kind of stuff like that?
Yes.
Is there any way, Brick Road, that he could use that proficiency to kind of figure out where this hole is in relation to the entrance on the hill?
He also has navigator's tools.
He could, but he couldn't do it from down here. You'd want to have some people down here and somebody up top.
Well, why don't we just
It
go
would
up
sound-
top and see if there's a hole that goes down first?
How about this? My owl can fly up through the hole and take a look.
Your owl flies to the top of the cave, but the hole that the sunlight is trickling through
So too small
seems
for an owl.
too narrow for an owl to fit.